A teacher transferred to our high school who was every guy's dream. And when she practically climbed into my pants? When Miss Caldwell transferred to our high school, the hallways changed temperature. Not literally, but you could feel the thermostat tick up about 10 degrees every time she walked by. Picture a woman who looked like she was cast for a TV show about teachers rather than hired through the district HR portal. Every guy, like students, teachers, the dude who delivered cafeteria milk crates, suddenly developed a deep appreciation for American literature. Me, I was 34, teaching sophomore history, married, and proud of being the least interesting person in the building. Until she arrived and for some reason zeroed in on me. I swear, the first day she introduced herself, she smiled like we'd known each other in a past life where we wore linen robes and whispered secrets in the desert. "You're the famous Mr. Hale," she said. Famous? I once got sent home for sneezing into a stack of ungraded essays. Hardly legend material, but she kept orbiting me, poking her head into my classroom at lunch, laughing at jokes I didn't realize I told, leaning a little too close when she borrowed staplers like she was allergic to the concept of personal space. The other male teachers were jealous. The female teachers were annoyed. And I was confused enough to start triple-checking my deodorant on weekday mornings. I didn't think anything of it. Not really. But my husband, Jonah, he notices everything, especially when I start coming home looking like I'd survived a small hurricane powered by a perfume and enthusiasm. It all escalated the afternoon she asked if I could help her carry some boxes up to the storage loft behind the auditorium. Innocent enough, except she had no boxes. Not one. Just her, waiting in the dim light like she'd ordered the seductive warehouse photo shoot package. "Funny," I said. "Did the boxes unionize?" She laughed, then stepped closer. Too close. Close enough that I could smell her shampoo. Something citrusy that reminded me of summer vacations I could no longer afford. She asked if I'd ever thought about leaving teaching. I told her only every day that ended with a Y. She said I could do anything I wanted, and she said it like a promise, not encouragement. Then she reached for my shirt collar. Actually reached. Like she was adjusting me for a portrait. That did it. I jumped back so fast I almost tripped over a mop bucket. "Ms. Caldwell, I'm married," I blurted. "Oh." She tilted her head. "Some people don't mind." "Well, one of those people is definitely me," I said, heart hammering like a trapped squirrel wearing tap shoes. But she kept smiling. "If you ever change your mind," she said softly. I practically sprinted out of that storage room and got home early enough to shock my husband. Jonah looked at me like I'd discovered teleportation. "What happened?" he asked. I told him everything, every weird detail, and he listened with that calm, focused expression he gets when deciding whether to panic or call the lawyer he keeps on speed dial. The next morning, Jonah made coffee at 6 a.m., set my mug in front of me, and said, "I think I'm going to talk to her." "Talk to who?" "The woman who tried to unbutton you like a cardigan." I choked on my sip. "Jonah, please don't." But the man was determined. Polite? Yes. Gentle even. But determined in that way people get when someone threatens their peace. I found out later he called her during his lunch break. He was perfectly civil, which is somehow scarier than yelling. He introduced himself, told her he appreciated colleagues supporting each other, told her he loved me and that I loved him, and that whatever misunderstanding had occurred should probably be put on a shelf, somewhere far away from me, her, and any room containing mop buckets. And here's the thing. She didn't deny anything. She didn't apologize either. She just went quiet. Jonah said he could practically hear her recalculating. "When a married man's husband calls you," Jonah said afterward, "it tends to reset the board." I expected fallout, drama, a whisper campaign. something. But Miss Caldwell didn't even look at me for the next 8 days. Relief? Sure, but also a weird little sting to the ego, like I'd just been fired from a job I never applied for. On the ninth day, she vanished. Not kidnapped, not demoted to the middle school, though that'd be a fate. Not sent home for accidentally setting off the fire alarm with a hair straightener. No, she simply requested a transfer. Again. The principal announced it during the morning meeting, in that delicate tone she uses for bad news like budget cuts, or the time the biology lab snake escaped into the HVAC system. Ms. Caldwell has accepted a new position closer to her family, she said. We all exchanged glances, even the English teachers who normally mind their business like monks. Her classroom was emptied by noon. I passed by once and saw her packing a plant into a box. The only box she'd had the entire time I'd known her. She didn't look at me, not once. That night, Jonah and I sat on the couch sharing a bowl of popcorn big enough to bathe a toddler in. You okay? He asked. Yeah, I said. Just weird. He nodded. People like that. They're storms. They blow in fast, make a mess, and then move on before you've even processed the weather report. That felt about right. In the weeks after she left, the school settled back into its usual rhythm. Students half asleep, teachers half powered by caffeine, the janitor still playing jazz over the intercom during after-school cleanup because no one can stop him. But every now and then, I'd catch myself wondering what exactly she'd wanted. Attention? Validation? A trophy man to drape herself over like some misguided fashion accessory? Or maybe I was just convenient. It's strange feeling both relieved and slightly insulted, like I dodged a bullet but also couldn't help noticing it wasn't a very good shot. Jonah teased me about it gently. You realize she picked you, he said one night, as we brushed our teeth in sync like the boring domestic pair we are. You. Not any of those gym teacher dudes with biceps the size of emotional support animals. I laughed so hard I spit toothpaste in the sink. Eventually, Ms. Caldwell became a footnote, a brief chapter in my life that read like someone else wrote it during a caffeine delirium. But sometimes when I'm grading papers after hours and the halls are empty, I remember her leaning in too close, the odd tension of it all, and how quickly it dissolved the moment Jonah stepped in. Life has a funny way of reminding you what matters. What doesn't? Who stays and who leaves the second things aren't thrilling anymore. She was a sparkler, bright, dramatic, gone before the smoke cleared. Jonah, he's the steady porch light, always there when I get home. And honestly, I'll take the porch light every time.